American football can look chaotic at first glance, helmets crashing, players sprinting in every direction, coaches signaling from the sideline, and a clock that seems to stop and start constantly. But underneath the noise is a structured game built around one central question: can the team with the ball move it far enough before the defense stops them? In the United States and Canada, the sport is often simply called football, but it is also known as gridiron football because of the field's lined pattern. Two teams of 11 players face each other on a rectangular field with goalposts at both ends. One team has the ball and attacks. The other team tries to prevent progress, force mistakes, and eventually take possession. Every play is a small contest, but each small contest adds up to a larger battle for field position, points, and time. The basic geography of the game matters because football is about territory. The field is measured in yards, with end zones at both ends. The offense wants to advance the oval-shaped ball into the opponent's end zone, while the defense tries to stop that movement or take the ball away. Unlike sports where possession flows continuously, American football is divided into separate plays. Before each play, both sides line up facing each other. The ball starts at a specific point called the line of scrimmage. When the play begins, the offense can try to run the ball forward with a ball carrier or pass it through the air to an eligible receiver. The defense reacts by tackling the runner, breaking up the pass, or intercepting the ball. Once the ball carrier is down, goes out of bounds, or a pass is incomplete, the play ends and the teams reset. The most important rule for understanding football is the system of downs. The offense gets 4 chances, called downs, to gain at least 10 yards. If it gains those 10 yards, it earns a fresh set of 4 downs and continues the drive. If it fails, possession normally goes to the other team. This simple rule creates much of football's strategy. On first down, the offense might take a balanced approach because it has several chances left. On third down, the pressure rises because failure could end the drive. On fourth down, teams often choose to punt, kicking the ball deep to the other side to avoid giving the opponent good field position. But sometimes, especially when the team is close to scoring or desperate late in a game, it may gamble and try to gain the remaining yards. Scoring in American football rewards both long drives and decisive moments. The most valuable common score is a touchdown, worth 6 points, achieved by carrying or catching the ball in the opponent's end zone. After a touchdown, the scoring team gets an extra opportunity. It can kick for 1 additional point or run another play from short distance for a 2-point conversion. Teams can also score with a field goal, worth 3 points, by kicking the ball through the uprights of the goalpost. Field goals often happen when an offense moves close enough to score but cannot reach the end zone. There is also the safety, worth 2 points, usually awarded when the offense is stopped with the ball in its own end zone. Because different scores are possible, late-game decisions often involve careful math as much as athletic execution. A football team is not just one group of 11 players doing everything. It is usually divided into 3 major units: offense, defense, and special teams. The offense includes positions designed to move the ball. The quarterback often directs the play, receives the snap, and either hands the ball to a runner or throws it to a receiver. Offensive linemen protect the quarterback and create running lanes, while running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends try to gain yardage. The defense is built to disrupt all of that. Defensive linemen attack the backfield, linebackers cover space and stop runs, and defensive backs defend against passes. Special teams handle kicks, punts, returns, and field position. These units make football highly specialized. A player may be on the field for only certain situations, but that role can decide an entire game. The rhythm of American football comes from the snap. Before the snap, both sides study each other's alignment. The offense may shift players, send someone in motion, or change the play based on what the defense shows. The defense may disguise pressure or coverage, trying to confuse the quarterback. Then the center snaps the ball, and the play becomes a burst of coordinated movement. In a run play, blockers try to open a path while the ball carrier reads the defense and accelerates through space. In a pass play, receivers run planned routes while the quarterback waits for an opening under heavy pressure. Because every play is planned but must adapt instantly, football combines choreography with improvisation. The pause before each snap is not empty time, it is where strategy, deception, and anticipation build. American football did not begin as the polished sport seen in modern stadiums. It evolved from earlier kicking and handling games, especially soccer and rugby. The first game commonly recognized as American football was played on November 6, 1869, between Rutgers and Princeton. At that time, the rules were closer to soccer than to today's game. By the mid-1870s, American football had moved toward rugby-style rules, including more carrying and physical contact. Colleges were central to the sport's early development, and different schools experimented with different rule sets. What eventually emerged was not simply copied from rugby or soccer. It became a distinctly American version of a field sport, shaped by rule changes that emphasized possession, territory, set plays, and measured progress. One figure is especially important in turning early football into something recognizable today: Walter Camp, often called the father of American football. Beginning around 1880, Camp helped introduce and promote rule changes that transformed the sport. Among the most important were the snap, the line of scrimmage, 11-player teams, and the down system. These ideas separated American football from rugby's more continuous style of play. Instead of a constant struggle for the ball and open motion, football became a game of controlled possessions, planned plays, and strategic resets. Later changes added more of the modern identity. The forward pass became legal, a neutral zone developed between the two lines, and the football itself became more specialized in size and shape. Each rule change pushed the sport towards speed, passing, and tactical complexity. The forward pass changed football's possibilities. Before passing became a major part of the game, offenses were more heavily focused on running and physical force. Legalizing and developing the forward pass opened the field vertically. Defenses could no longer concentrate only near the line of scrimmage, they had to protect deep space as well. This helped create specialized receivers, defensive backs, and passing strategies. The ball's oval shape also supports this style. It can be carried securely, kicked, or thrown in a spiral that cuts through the air. Modern football is still a running game in many situations, but the threat of the pass stretches defenses and creates dramatic plays. A single throw can change field position, score a touchdown, or be intercepted and swing momentum the other way. Football's structure makes it especially attractive as a spectator sport because every play has stakes. A gain of 2 yards might seem small, but depending on the down and distance, it can be a success or a failure. A punt can be disappointing for the offense but strategically smart. A defensive stop on third down can feel as important as a score. The game also creates natural suspense. Before the snap, viewers can see the situation, yards needed, time remaining, field position, score, and formation. Then the play begins, and in a few seconds the situation changes. This stop-start rhythm allows fans, commentators, and coaches to analyze what just happened and predict what comes next. Football is physical, but its popularity also comes from how readable and debatable each moment becomes. In the United States, American football became the country's most popular sport, especially through college football and professional football. High school and youth football also remain major parts of local sports culture. In 2022, more than 1 million Americans played college or high school football, showing how deeply the sport reaches into communities and schools. At the professional level, the National Football League, or NFL, is one of the most powerful sports leagues in the world and has some of the highest average attendance among professional leagues. Its championship game, the Super Bowl, is not just a sporting event, it is a national media spectacle involving advertising, music, parties, and massive television audiences. For many viewers, the Super Bowl is the one football game they watch all year, which shows how far the event extends beyond regular sports fandom. Although American football dominates the sports landscape in the United States, its global reach is more limited than sports like basketball or baseball. Still, the game has built growing followings in parts of North America, Europe, Brazil, and Japan. It is closely related to Canadian football, which developed alongside the American version and remains one of the main variants of gridiron football. Another important development is flag football, a less contact-heavy version where defenders stop a play by pulling a flag from the ball carrier rather than tackling. Flag football is easier to organize, safer for casual play, and more accessible internationally. Its inclusion in the 2028 Summer Olympics marks a major moment for the broader football family. American football began as a college experiment shaped by rugby and soccer, but it has grown into a complex sport of territory, timing, strategy, and spectacle. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.